The history of chess is veiled in obscurity. Though there are a lot of stories about the origin of chess, there are no reliable documents either on the exact time chess dates from or the country it traces its origin to. It is believed that chess was developed in India about 500 years before Christ. At that time, people were constantly at war. If the many kingdoms of India were not waging war against each other, they had to defend themselves against foreign conquerors. With the aid of Islam, the rich and powerful Arabian culture spread to Persia in the middle of the 7th century. Some educated Arabs became interested in chess, which was called Chaturanga, at that time. The 9th century was the first golden age of chess. The Arabs explored India to find out the origins of chess. The Arabian culture produced a lot of literature on Chaturanga, which resembled its former Indian equivalent. The words chess, check, and checkmate are related to the honorary title used for the Persian monarch. Chess is believed to have reached Europe about 1,000 years ago, presumably through the peninsulas of Italy and Spain. The game arrived in Central Europe in the period 1100 to 1200 AD, and later it was conveyed to Scandinavia by seafarers.
The idea of this was very simple. So these are something what I've been telling you also earlier, but I try to make it now shorter. Wir werden verschiedene Perspektiven betrachten und tief in die Materie eintauchen, um ein umfassendes Verständnis zu erlangen. Second level. These fill all these cells, except these ones. So there must be a new chess man, which is knight. It's very simple. Actually, the early chess game was Chaturanga, and there bishop was filled and rook was filled, and they were moving. No, queen was filled, and they was moving. Bishop was moving in this way. It did jump only to here, and queen only to here. So so that it made me colonist, and then I made it, and I got eight board, and I found that it must have been a game for 4 players, and it sounded nonsense, but then I found some historical information that some people thought it was made for 4. So this game was made on this board in the same way, using the same idea, and so was this game born. And this 3% chess was based exactly on usual chess. So we made a computer program, and the same algorithm did work with both games. So I decided to generalize chess in all dimensions, levels.
This is about an archaeological well. I discovered it in a location through contemplation. Essentially, this is an idea that exists in reality. Ideas are formed when they are captured and then reassembled from the individual pieces in some manner or another. From this, 3 different games were created, one of them being regular chess, one of them being this 3-check chess here, and the third one was a game that was completely unplayable and impossible to play. I asked a couple of high school boys from the neighborhood to come over and play. We played the game on the balcony for a couple of hours, and it worked. In 3-check chess, 1 player wins. This is a significant difference from regular chess. In this game, there is no loser, as there is always a checkmate ready. Since there is 1 winner, if you are among the losers, you can say, "It wasn't me, but the other one who sneaked in there." Chess, evolved for 2,500 years, has undergone an evolution like a folk song. Refined to perfection, everything that strayed has eventually found its way back.
After familiarizing himself with the history of chess, he ended up deconstructing the game to its origins and reassembling it. 3 different variations were created, one of them being Komisaki. It then evolved into a game-like form, and I asked then, participated in a technology center idea competition with his game just 10 minutes before the 6-month deadline. Komisaki was one of the awarded ideas. In 1997, the giant version of Kolmisaki was displayed in the night of the upper city, and the next day already at the Senate Square in Helsinki. And then in 1998, during Helsinki's insemination situation, we were at the Senate Square with this big game, and we lent Sonel a Nokia wireless GS like this, and we took a laptop. And we played an international game at the Senate Square that lasted 5 hours. We had the laptop there, so a wireless connection in the middle of the square's crowd, and one player sat there, one in Australia and one in Jyväskylä. And we moved big buttons, so people walked around and found it, and they didn't really know what was actually happening there. The game managed to attract interest from, among others, President Ahtisaari and chess master Anatoly Karpov. Kolmisaki, developed at the University of Jyväskylä, has both a CD-ROM and an online version. Next month, Kolmisaki will be featured at the Thailand Open Chess Masters Tournament, attracting players from Southeast Asia. The belief in the future of the game is indeed strong. I want to emphasize that this is not in any way like chess, as they have distinct rules and strategies. This includes the basic rules of chess. The target audience, even children, will learn to play Kolmisaki and then move on to regular chess. The third player also brings politics into the mix. In Finland, Kolmisaki has indeed been relevant for some time now. This political situation is quite amusing in a way because currently, to some extent, this setup also remembers this is not all the same, but in Finland, this three-party politics has always been the case for the last couple of decades, where one party always drops out of the government and two remain. So in a way, this can also simulate that idea.
Kuppe, the lecturer, to identify the abstract rules of chess. The evolutionary steps of chess were traced back to the Chaturanga period, and the elements were brought together from the viewpoint of general chess theory. This resulted in 3 different chess games: the ordinary chess as we know it, a theoretical game based on triangles, and a chess played by 3 players on a hexagon-based board.
Ja tiedät, että on olemassa kolmenlaisia erilaisia laattoja, kolmio- ja kuusikulmaisia, joten kokeilin niitä vain yhdellä näistä, kaikilla näistä, ja tämä ei toiminut. Als nächstes werden wir uns mit dem nächsten Thema beschäftigen.
युवास्कुला विश्वविद्यालय में विकसित कोलमिसाकी का एक CD-ROM ये सेटअप भी याद दिलाता है कि यह सब एक जैसा नहीं है, तो एक तरह से यह उस विचार का भी अनुकरण कर सकता है